Hello, everybody, and welcome to this webinar. Just a quick introduction for me. I'm Christophe, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Nalios Group. And I have the pleasure to be joined today by Mickaël. So, Mickaël, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, nice to meet you, Mickaël. I'm Chief Revenue Officer in North America for Agicap, and I'm based in Austin, Texas.
Amazing. So today we're going to talk about, the both of us are going to talk about how to automate cash operations with Odoo and Agicap. And I think it's a subject that is really interesting because, of course, you can manage your operations through an ERP system like Odoo. But then when it comes to going deeper into the cash management operations, I think that's where the automated integration with Agicap makes a lot of sense. So here we are today, and let's have a look at the agenda. So quick introduction about Odoo and Nalios today, and then we're going to go about talk about Agicap, of course, to explain a little bit further what Agicap does. And then we're going to go over demonstration of both Odoo and Agicap, and we're going to see the link between the two different softwares. And then we're going to go over the Q&A session. So let's go ahead. And so I wanted to talk about Odoo a little bit further today, because for those who don't know what it is, of course, a business suite app that allows you to manage all your operation into a single software. So most of the time, what we see with an SME is that they have a lot of different software. Usually you start with Excel, and then you start with a timesheet software, and then you go over a project management software, and all those different applications are not talking to each other, basically. And that's exactly what Odoo solves. The main advantage is obviously to have every application that is integrated. So it's an all-in-one app that allows you to have your contact apps that are integrated with the invoicing and accounting app that are also integrated in the manufacturing app. So everything is into a single source of truth. And that's the main reason why it's so successful today. Just a few key points. Since probably around 15 years straight, they have around 50% growth annually. And last year it was 67% growth. They have over 15 million plus users worldwide in 175 countries, and you have a lot of different applications that are available to you through the Odoo standard app, but also their standard app platform that allows you to easily integrate another software into Odoo or to do some customizations. And what we see and what we've seen since a few years now is the massive adoption among SMBs, because not only it allows you to integrate a lot of different softwares into a single software, but also it's very inexpensive compared to the competition. So if you have a look at NetSuite, for example, or SAP or those kind of software, Odoo is only about $25 a month per user, and you can use everything that is available to you. So that's why it's also growing very rapidly. And of course, it's also very easy to use. So compared to other software, the main goal of Odoo is to make sure that people can use the software so you get good data at the end of it, which is the most important thing, of course. And last but not least, a little bit about Nalios here. So we are an Odoo Gold partner. Long story short, we've been working, my business partner and I, at Odoo for several years before creating our partnership. It was approximately 6 years ago now, and today we are more than 60 people worldwide. So we are in 5 different countries. We have 12 years of experience with 350 companies that we are working on a daily basis to implement Odoo. That's the only thing we do. And we have more than 5,000 users worldwide that we are training and coaching on Odoo. And so let's now dig deeper into Agicap, and I'm going to hand over to Mickaël so he can explain a little bit more about Agicap.
Yes, a few words about Agicap, 3 slides, we'll keep it really short. So Agicap is a cash flow management and cash flow forecasting software that you will see integrates seamlessly with Odoo. So in the next slide, this is our track record so far. So not as big as Odoo, but like a decent track record and presence so far. We are the #1 software in this field with customers mostly in Europe and North America, with a focus on both SMB and mid-market companies. So over 8,000 customers worldwide so far, 600 employees. We've raised over $185 million of VC funding as well, and have a lot of partners, commercial partners and technological partners such as Nalios. And in the next slide, so this is high level how Agicap and Odoo integrate seamlessly. So the point of Agicap is to give you real-time visibility and control on your cash by connecting on one side with your banks. So in the US, we use different methods to connect to your banks. It's a mix of open banking for the banks that have this kind of option, but for a lot of banks, we connect host to host with an SFTP connection. And for larger customer, we can also use a Swift global banking protocol to fetch on a daily basis the bank statements in Agicap, right? And then on the other side, we also connect to Odoo through our native connector to pull the APAR and purchase orders that will fuel your short-term forecast, but that we can also reconcile, as you will see in the demonstration. And so it's a bidirectional integration, because we not only pull data from Odoo, but we can also push data to Odoo, including, of course, the banking data that has been centralized and transformed in Agicap. But also we can help the pre-accounting process, as you will see, through the treasury reconciliation and journal posting.
Thank you very much, Mickaël, for this introduction. I think we should go over the demonstration right away, because that's where the most important things that we're going to show today are going to be played out. So I'm going to go over a quick introduction to Odoo, because I think it's not the main purpose to talk about what Odoo can do, although it's very important to understand from the CRM to the cash management, how it can be done, and how you can manage all your operation into different into Odoo and Agicap very seamlessly. So we're going to go over Odoo here, and as you can see, this is the main dashboard of Odoo. So the main thing here is that you can see that every application has its own icon on the dashboard. Obviously, I haven't installed all the applications at once in this database, but if you go to the apps application, you will be able to see all the different applications that are available to you, and you can activate it very easily from this dashboard, and it doesn't increase your cost. This is the exact same cost, whatever applications you add. And what I wanted to go over today with you is a complete workflow, and obviously we're not going to cover all the different type of workflows that Odoo can do, but I'm going to have a very simple example from the CRM to the accounting, and then we're going to go over the cash management platform. So if I go into the CRM, as you can see here, the CRM is pretty much the same as any CRM on the market. This is a pipeline that most of salespeople can recognize. The good thing about it, of course, is you're going to be able to see the different integrations between not only the CRM, but also the sales app, the invoicing app, and so on. So pretty standard. You have all your opportunities that are available to you here. It's very easy to see what you have to do on a daily basis, because you have these colors here at the top of the screen that allow you to see overdue activities, today activities, and planned activities. If you click on the different colors, you're going to have a very easy filtering on the CRM, and you can also see, so this is a drag and drop feature, and when you drag and drop an opportunity from a pipeline, from a stage of a pipeline to another, you're going to be able to see the different numbers that are updating automatically. If I go over an opportunity, we can see that we have some fields that are available to you to fill it in. Obviously now with AI, you have a lot of fields that can be automatically filled in. But what's interesting here is that you can see the different smart buttons that you're going to be able to see throughout this demonstration. The smart buttons are really showing to you the different integrations between the different apps. And as you can see here, from an opportunity with the contact already filled in, I can directly create a new quotation. This is going to switch us to the sales application, and you're going to be able to see the sales order. Another thing that is very interesting here is that you can centralize the information between Odoo, between all your salespeople, or between anybody that has access to Odoo through what we call the chatter here. So you not only see the activities that are planned or overdue for today, you can also see the different send message, for example, that you can send a message externally. You can also log notes to be able to talk to your colleagues about a specific use case. And now we're going to go to the new quotation button. And if I click on it, you see that the customer is already filled in because it was already entered in the CRM. It's embedded in the contact app. And then the customer is already on the sales order. And then I'm going to be able to add product. So here, of course, depending on the industry I'm in, I'm going to be able to either do the manufacturing linked to the sales order, do the logistics linked to the sales order, do the service if I'm a service company. So it really depends on the different industries you are in. But of course, here I'm going to take just a quick and simple example to show you the different steps. And I'm going to choose the service on timesheets here. So I'm going to add the product into the sales order. And I can define a lot of things here. Of course, the quantity, the unit of measure. Here I want to invoice based on timesheet. So I'm going to send a quotation for an hourly rate with the taxes that are automatically filled in. Good thing about it, when you're in the US, you probably have a lot of different customers in different states. And what happens here is so Odoo has an integration with Avatax, so Avalara, that allows you to calculate the tax automatically from Odoo. So you don't have to use an external software to do that. It's already embedded into Odoo, so you don't have to do anything rather than integrating with Avalara, of course. But then we're going to go over here and send the quotation by email. And from the quotation, so here I have specific templates that are available and that are completely customizable up to your needs. I can send it here, and you can see in the chatter the quotation that is available to anybody that has access to this quotation. And then I'm going to confirm the sale. And what we're going to see here is the integration between the sales application and the project application, because I've configured my product to be able to create a project right from the sales order here. And I will be also able to see the number of recorded hours on this specific project. So of course, this is a very specific example. This is a very simple example, but we can go way, way deeper into the configuration to create project with multiple tasks, with multiple different lines, for example, or anything like that. And if you're in the manufacturing industry, you can integrate the sales order with the manufacturing process or with the logistics process. We don't have time here in this webinar to go over this, but if you have any questions regarding that, feel free to ask, and we can go over specific demos for you. So long story short here, I'm going to go into the project, and then I'm going to see the task and the pipeline of the project. I can go into the timesheet and record timesheets. So the reason I do it here is to show you the integration between the project and the invoicing process. Because of course there are multiple ways to create timesheets. First of all, you have a dashboard for timesheets, so the people that are timesheeting are do that very seamlessly. But here, for the purpose of the demonstration, I'm just doing it quickly. So I'm going to add 5 hours into the task, and then I'm going to go back to my sales order. So as you can see here, I have now a quantity that has been quoted, And I have delivered quantities that are different from the invoiced quantities. Why? Because I've recorded 5 hours, but it's not yet invoiced. And what happens here is that you can either invoicing right away from the sales order, or you can go into the sales app. And what's really interesting here is that you have a menu that allows you to see all the orders that are to invoice. And as you can see here, I have all my orders to invoice. And then if I click on it, I have the exact same overview as I had before. And here, I can just click on the checkboxes here. I'm not going to go over and click on all of them, but you could actually. And I can just create my invoices from here. And as you can see, I have my service on time sheet on the invoice. I have the recorded hours here directly that are linked to the sales order and to the invoice. And I can just confirm the invoice in itself. As you can see, the invoice is also linked to the accounting app. Why? Because you can see the accounting account that is here, and you can also see the journal items that are available right away from the invoice to the accounting. So you don't have any integration between the invoicing and accounting. Odoo does that for you. You don't have to think about it. All you have to do is to configure it right from the beginning. And then, of course, we're going to go deeper into the accounting now. But it's so as you can see, it's really easy to go from the CRM app, create a quotation, send it to the customer, then invoice it, and then put it into the accounting. There is no extra step. Nothing else is needed for that. So if I go back now to the main dashboard and I go to the accounting app, just to give you an overview of the accounting app, and that's exactly where we're going to also see the link between Agicap and Odoo, because we're going to go a step further in the cash management and in the reconciliation tools later. But as you can see, you have the main dashboard of the accounting with the different journals that are available to you for the age payable and age receivables. So you can see the sales journal, the purchase journal, the different bank journal. You can directly reconcile banks from Odoo, although here for the purpose of the demonstration, we're going to go over the reconciliation through Agicap, because I think it's also a seamless thing to do. But you can choose, actually, and you can also connect with the bank here directly from Odoo. And what you can see here is on the dashboard, you can quickly see the different invoices that are still to validate, that are unpaid, that are late, that for the sales, for the purchase. If you want to upload a new vendor bill, you can easily do that by uploading the PDF or send this email address to your vendor, so you can send the invoices over to you right away into Odoo. So it's very seamless. And if I go to the purchases and on invoices, I can click on an invoice. And the good thing about it is it's really the same thing. It's really the same kind of document as a customer invoice. And the reason is because Odoo wants the user to be able to easily find information and to not be blocked or lost in the software. So every app is the same as the same design, let's say. The reason why I clicked on this invoice is I want you to have a look at it, and I want you to keep it in mind for the next steps, because we're going to be able to see the integration with the invoices and the vendor bills and Agicap. As you can see here, I have a bill from Gemini Furniture for this amount, and we're going to see that in Agicap you can reconcile the invoice, and then it's going to go straight back into Odoo. So the integration is very seamless. A couple of things I wanted to also show you is, of course, about the accounting. You have all the reports you need, balance sheet, profit and loss, cash flow statements. When you go to the balance sheet, for example, you're able to see it in real time. So the information is there in real time. You can do comparisons to the previous period, for example. So it's very easy to navigate and to use Odoo on a daily basis to make sure that your operation are up to date, but also the accounting is up to date. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Something like a last thing I wanted to show you is, of course, the dashboards that are automatically embedded into Odoo. And as you can see here, all the dashboards are there in real time and allow you, for example, in finance, to show you the different metrics that you have on a daily basis. So that's it for the Odoo part. I want now to tell Mickaël to go over the Agicap demo and to show the integration and of course the features that are available to Agicap and the integration with Odoo.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Christophe. So yeah, you can see my screen just fine. So yeah, everything you've showed is super relevant because of course, as you manage your quotes, purchase orders, or actual invoices in Odoo, it has a big impact, of course, from an accounting perspective, but also from a cash perspective, right? And this is what Agicap is about. As you can see here, we are on the main cash flow plan. And the point of Agicap is to give you more like real-time visibility on your cash across all your bank accounts and entities in what place, but also to give you an accurate picture on your cash forecast across different horizons that we will see in the demo over the next few months, as you can see here, over the next few days and weeks as well. And so to do this, we integrate different data sources together in one place. So the first data source, of course, is this dark green and red that you can see here. It's for the bank actuals. So of course, in green, the inflows, and in red, the outflows. And this is the banking data that we will collect on a daily basis from your banks. Again, combining a bit of open banking, but mostly host-to-host connection with all the banks. So the big banks, of course, but also all the smaller regional banks that you may work with. We integrate really well with all of those. On top of this, the intermediate green and red represent the expected transaction. Expected transaction is a combination of two things. It's first all the AP, AR, purchase orders, and potentially quotes as well that we will automatically import from Odoo on a daily basis. And so we will position this expected based on the expected payment date that we get from Odoo, and that, as you will see, you can also adjust in Agicap. And in this expected transaction, we also include all the non-invoiced transactions, such as payroll, rent, or other significant inflow and outflows that for sure are coming up in the next few weeks and that you want to include in this category. And on top of that, this hashed area represents the gap to forecast, right? So if you consider the total inflow or outflow projection for the month, what remains to be done if you deduct your actual banking transaction so far and your expected transaction coming from Odoo and your own projection. So that's the big picture of the different data sources we include. And last thing here, you can also see the cash balance at the beginning and the end of each month. Okay, so that's the long-term forecast. I will get back to it in a second. Before we go into the monthly cash flow plan, I wanted to start with the basic day-to-day cash management, right? If you want to know on a daily basis where you stand across your different bank accounts, and most importantly, how the situation is going to evolve over the coming days, so you can anticipate and make adjustments if needed to rebalance your bank accounts, to secure maybe a new loan, new funding, because you anticipate a cash liquidity crunch in the coming weeks. So here, what you can see is a cash balance on a daily basis, again, integrating all your bank accounts in one place. And here you have like detailed visibility across all your banks. So that includes operating accounts, but also investment accounts. So if you use like other tools like, or banks like, I don't know, Goldman Sachs, Charles Schwab, or spend management platform like Ramp or Bill.com, where you also have some cash available, you can also integrate all of those in Agicap. And so here you can see for each bank account, you have the current cash balance, the projection for the end of the day, and for the upcoming days as well. And so if we take an example here, there you go, with Chase, because here we see that if we do nothing, our Chase bank account will go into overdraft today because of all of the invoices that are supposed to be paid today. And one of these invoices is the one that Christophe showed us earlier, the Gemini Furniture limited bill. So it's a vendor payment for $722. So this is typically the type of invoices and payments that we will automatically import from Odoo on a daily basis. And one interesting thing that you can do is, for any reason, say, all right, let's delay this vendor payment. So instead of paying it today, let's push it a bit further to, or let's see what would be the impact if we pay it like maybe on the 24th. This is something that I can easily do directly in Agicap without impacting my accounting data. All right, so this is just to update your forecast and see what happens if you delay some vendor payment, for example. Okay, so when you click here, you can see all the upcoming transactions that will have an impact on your cash balance. And something that you can also do directly in Agicap is to rebalance your account, right? So you can decide to do either a manual transfer, say, all right, let's maybe move some money from my Wells Fargo account where I have some excess cash to my Chase account where I have a low level of cash, and execute the payment directly here without the need to log into the bank portal. Or I can also create some rules and define some thresholds and have an automated suggestion from Agicap to rebalance my accounts based on the cover period, right? So if I want to keep all my bank accounts above a certain threshold over the next 5 days, what internal transfers do I need to make? Okay, there you go. And so that's really like, again, for day-to-day cash management to make sure that you have good visibility across all your bank accounts and they're all at an optimal level of cash. Not too much, not too low as well. And then moving on, the same data can be used as well as especially the data from Odoo to fuel your 13-week forecast. 13-week forecast being the market standard when it comes to reporting to your investors, private equity fund, VC fund, to your bank, or also to your board, right? And so here, out of the box, you will have a 13-week view with same inflows and outflows and expected transaction. The main difference here is that instead of having a breakdown of your cash per bank account, you have a breakdown per cash categories that you can see below. And these cash flow categories are fully customizable, right? So out of the box, we give you a breakdown across your operating cash flow, so everything related to client payment, vendor payments, day-to-day activities, investment cash flows, everything related to CapEx, for example, and financing cash flow, which might include internal company transfer, dividend payments, loan reimbursement, and all of these things. That's out of the box, but this is something that you can adjust to your needs. So for example, now if you have like a retail business, let's say, that includes some brick and mortar store, and an online shop and a resale network, what you could do in Agicap is create categories for each of these channels and break down your inflows per channel and your outflows as well, right? So you have full flexibility to adjust this cash flow category. It's not based on any accounting constraint because it's just cash. So you can do pretty much anything you want. And once you have created those cash flow categories, then we have an AI capability within Agicap that will automatically categorize all your bank transaction, but also all your expected transaction that come from Odoo, okay? And the way it works is that you just need to teach the AI at the beginning of the onboarding process by going through some of this transaction manually and indicate how it's supposed to be categorized. And then the AI will take over after a few days so that, as you can see here, 98% of my bank transaction have been automatically categorized. So I just need to maybe manually review once a week a few that have been not automatically categorized. And again, same thing. Let me just up. filter here. Same thing for all the AP/AR that will come from Odoo. Exactly the same categorization rule would apply. Okay. Another aspect where Agicap AI capability helps is to help with your creation of your forecast. So Agicap will automatically analyze all your historical banking data and transaction to suggest and to identify recurring transaction and suggest the creation of recurring transaction for your future forecast. For example, for like payroll, for loan reimbursements, or any other type of transactions that we've seen in the past, that will be automatically projected in the future as well, automatically. Okay. So that's kind of the basic rules of how it works. And then for the longer term forecast here, one of the typical questions we get is, how do you guys figure out this long-term forecast values, right? How do you know the total inflow and total outflows for the coming months? Here, different things that we see with our customers. I mean, some of you will already have like a long-term cash flow plan, and that's fine. In this case, we can just go ahead and import this existing cash flow plan directly in Agicap as an Excel import. But what we see most of the time is that there is no long-term cash flow plan, but there is a P&L and balance sheet forecasts that have already been reviewed and approved by the board or the owners, and that you would like to convert into a cash flow plan, right? That's the most common scenario. And so for this, what cool thing you can do in Agicap is to upload this P&L and balance sheet and convert them into a cash flow plan. All right, so we have dedicated module, and then it's 3 simple steps to convert your P&L and balance sheet into a cash flow plan. First, you need to match your P&L categories with your Agicap categories that I mentioned before, right? So we know how to assign the different values from, you can see P&L categories, which how they align with your Agicap categories for both inflows and outflows. You also need to include your DSO and DPO, either on a high level per segment of vendors and customers, either in a very granular way per key vendor and key customer. And then you also need to add any upcoming investment and funding coming from your balance sheet, so we can give you a 360 picture of your cash. And once you've done this, you see automatically your long-term cash forecast will be updated. And if you update your P&L and balance sheet on a monthly or quarterly basis, you can also connect those automatically to Agicap. So this conversion rule will apply and keep your long-term forecast up to date. Okay. And once you've done this, then you can further refine your cash forecast in Agicap using different kind of rules. Here, for example, if I go into my client payment, I can either use historical performance. So, all right, let's just project the average of the past 3 months and add some variation, or I can just fully rely on my AP/AR, or I can use some more advanced calculation. So there are a lot of different ways to then adjust your forecast for each category and subcategory using different methods. And then you can see at any point in time also where you stand based on your actuals compared to your forecast. So for example, you can see here so far I've collected 64% of my expected client payment so far this month. Another cool thing you can leverage as well with Agicap is historical DSO values. So especially when it comes to revenue projection, we can leverage not the payment date of the invoice, but the actual payment delays that you've seen with all your customers, right? And because we have all of this historical data in Agicap, for example, taking this client, we know that they usually pay with a 45 days delay, even if the invoice says net 30. And so you can decide to use this historical DSO to have a more accurate forecast when it comes to your cash inflow projections. All right. So that's the big picture on the cash flow forecasting. I won't go into too much detail. You can also create what-if scenario, so you can clone your base forecast and then make some adjustment to see what would be the cash impact if, for example, you accelerate the repayment of your debt. What if you make an acquisition? What if tariffs increase? You can pretty much test anything you want easily in Agicap and see the cash impact, and also keep them up to date because they're always connected to your banks and to Odoo in real time. And quickly on reporting, you can also create your very advanced and customized custom dashboard in Agicap to either easily report to, again, your board, your investors, create a simplified dashboard for the CEO, and all of these things, but also creates very more like advanced dashboards if you want to drill down on banking fees or whatever topic is very important for you in terms of cash performance. And also you can export all of this to Excel at any point in time. All right. And the last thing I wanted to show you to have like a full cycle integration with Odoo, because here what we've seen is how we can leverage the data from Odoo, AP, AR, purchase orders, quotes to have a more accurate cash forecast in Agicap. But there is another step, which is to also facilitate the treasury reconciliation and the journal posting in Agicap. So let's have a look at this. I'll just go a bit in the past. So first, in terms of treasury reconciliation, because Agicap has all the banking data and all the invoices in one place, of course, it makes it software of choice to do your treasury reconciliation, right? And again, it's all your banking data, because I know these things can also be done in Odoo. I guess the main thing is like if there are some banks that you will not be able to connect with Odoo for any reason, and that you could connect with Agicap host to host, it will give you a more exhaustive picture on your banking transaction. And so here we can automatically match your invoices with your banking transaction. You can make some adjustments on the level of tolerance that you accept in terms of the payment date and the amounts. And then the majority of this reconciliation will be automated, as you can see here in this flow. Automatic matching between the invoice and the transaction. And then if there is a gap that goes beyond your level of tolerance, then Agicap will suggest a reconciliation that you can review one by one, and then you can decide if you want to approve it or reject it. So, for example, here for the Gemini furniture invoice that we uploaded from Odoo, there is a significant gap on the payment date, but now that I've reviewed it manually, I know that this is still the right matching. So I will go ahead up and reconcile it. Okay. And then same, there might be like some leftovers that you can manually reconcile by seeing here all your banking transaction and here all your expected transaction as well. But the purpose is to automate above 95% of your treasury reconciliation in Agicap. So that's the first step. Second step, once the treasury reconciliation has been done, is to update the bank journal. Right? So here what we would do is automatically import your chart of account in Agicap, right? And then we'll automatically create some rules and automation to update your bank journal. And so here we have some automated suggestion on the accounts that you're supposed to use for each of these treasury reconciliation based on your own chart of accounts. Okay, so up, there you go. And so once it's approved, you can mark as ready to export. Up, there you go. And then once it's ready to export, up here in one click, I can export all the book entries directly to Odoo. Up. And then Christophe will show you then what the impact will be in Odoo once these two steps have been completed: treasury reconciliation first and bank journal update second. So back to you. Oops, sorry, I can see that I was stuck on the 13-week forecast. Whoops, because it opened another tab.
Yeah, you were stuck.
Oh, sorry, that's me. Because when I switched to reconciliation, it opened another tab, so I was sharing the wrong screen. Sorry about that. I don't know when I lost you.
Yeah, about 13 weeks dashboard cash flow.
Okay.
Go ahead, that's fine.
Up. Yeah, you should have told me. Up. Never mind. Okay, so here. Okay, so quickly on the reconciliation. Up. So I was stuck on the 13-week forecast for the past 10 minutes, more or less, right? Okay, never mind. So what I was showing you, sorry, it just opened another tab and it was still sharing the same screen. So sorry about that. I was showing for the treasury reconciliation real quick is that here in Agicap, most of the treasury reconciliation will be fully automated. Okay, as you can see here, everything has been properly reconciled. And there you go. Just going through the screens real quick. You will have also some suggestions as well. And here I can update, there you go, the bank journal, upload the chart of accounts, and then the correct categories will be automatically selected in Agicap before it's sent to Odoo. So sorry, it was showing the wrong interface during my voiceover. That's life. And now back to you, Christophe, to show the last step in Odoo.
Yeah. So thank you, Mickaël, and sorry for the small technical problem that we had. So the last step for us is, as you can see, so we have reconciled the invoice into Agicap, and now we can go back into Odoo to see what's the output of that. And so if we go back to the purchase app, you can see that the Gemini furniture invoice has been paid. So it relates the integration between Odoo and Agicap. So that was the exact last step of the flow. And now we're going to go into some questions. So if you guys have some questions in the chat, don't hesitate to ask, and we're ready to answer. We're going to leave you a couple of seconds to see if there are any questions. So I think the webinar is like probably lagging 20 seconds or so. So we can give a little more time for you guys to have questions if you have any. Okay, seems there are no questions for now. So if you have any questions related to either Odoo or Agicap, feel free to reach us. Of course, we're going to be available. So where can we reach you best, Mickaël?
You can add me on LinkedIn, and I will gladly accept your invitation and answer any question you may have. And of
Amazing.
course, by email as well, first name.last name@agicap.com.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And for Nalios and or services with Odoo, you can obviously reach out to me via LinkedIn, or if you want to have more information, you can also visit www.nalios.com. And for Agicap, I believe it's agicap.com, probably, Mickaël?
Yes, sir.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for watching this webinar. Thank you, Mickaël, for being with us today.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and see you next time.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.